Hello, this enhancement session will go over the chemistry topic of atoms, elements and compounds. Just before we get started, there is a little information bite for you here. Atoms are only the single molecules, the single spheres here, whereas molecules are the joined atoms together like that. Both of them, because they are the same, make elements though, that's the elements. Atoms are each single ball or sphere, and it is the smallest part of the chemical element that can exist. So the first diagram here shows a single atom, which is a single sphere here. But the second diagram, just there, the second diagram shows a row of 9 identical atoms, but each one, as indicated here, is an atom. Now, when you come to GCSE, this is a structure of the atom. The proton, the neutron and the electron are the 3 subatomic particles within the atom. Proton is positively charged, neutron is neutral or no charge, and the electron is negatively charged. The proton and neutron are found in the center of the atom, and that forms the nucleus, whereas the electrons are found on the outside. This is just like the atom are found on just in this small single ball or sphere. They are both the same thing. Okay, so the first key definition is for the elements, which are made up of only one type of atom only. They're made up of one type. So for example here, the first one being only one spherical atom, and that could be helium or hydrogen, just one of them. This second one, because all the atoms here are the same, it means it is an element, and this could be a row of iron or Fe atoms, so that means it's an element. Now this one as well, because it's only one type of atom, the same colour, that means it could be oxygen, O2, or nitrogen, N2. So once again, this is because it's one colour, it's one type of atom, it is an element, same colour again, it's red again, so that means it's only one type of atom. And here, they're all the same type of atom, same colour, so that means they are all the same element. Such as oxygen, carbon and nitrogen are all found on the periodic table. Periodic table is simply just a table of elements, and these elements are split into metals and non-metals, as we'll be showing now. So, on here we have the periodic table, and it shows the difference between metals and non-metals. Metals are shown on the left-hand side as red, whereas the non-metals are shown on the right-hand side as yellow. Hydrogen here is also a non-metal. The second key definition is for compounds. Now compounds are 2 or more elements that are bonded together. They are joined together, and they are not found on the periodic table, but their elements are. So the first example will be for this example here, which shows a blue atom and a red atom joined together, forming a compound. They are bonded together. So this could be carbon and oxygen forming carbon monoxide. As you're all bonded together and as you are the same, this is just simply compounds. Next example could be carbon dioxide, CO2, which we breathe out during respiration. This is also a compound because they are joined together, so we can have a carbon atom here as a red one, and then the 2 white atoms will be the oxygen atoms, so carbon and 2 oxygen. And the final example will be for water, which also shows that are bonded together, so oxygen atom here bonded to 2 hydrogen atoms. The third and final key definition is for mixtures. Mixtures are 2 or more elements and or compounds, but they are not bonded together. So the first example of a mixture is a mixture of elements. So on the example here, we've got the white molecules here as in one element, and the red molecules bonded together here as another element. So this could be oxygen, O2 there, and that could be nitrogen there. They are different, but there is space in between them, so that means they are not bonded together. There are 2 different types of elements, 2 different types of elements there, but as they are not bonded together, they cannot be compounds, so it must be a mixture. The second example is a mixture of a compound and an element. So we've got a compound here of water, so H2O, hydrogen there, and the 2 oxygen, and this one could just be a nitrogen atom, so a different element. as they are not bonded together between them, there is space in between them, it is a mixture of an element and a compound. The final example, and the most difficult example, is the one shown here, which shows a mixture of compounds. So we've got one compound here and one compound there. There's 4 of each, and this one could be carbon dioxide with 1 carbon there and 2 oxygen molecules, and this one could be water with 2 hydrogen on the side and 1 oxygen in the middle. Now, even though they are bonded here, that is a compound, but because between the compounds themselves there is space, there is no bonding, they are not touching, that means it is a mixture of compounds because there is space in between them. So to summarize, this example is a mixture of elements because we've got 2 different types of elements that are not bonded. The second example is a mixture of a compound here and an element. And the third and final example is a mixture of 2 different compounds because each one there is space between them. Now, the final task, and this is a task for you to do at home to summarize, I want you to try and match up each keyword to the correct diagram. So we have 3 keywords: element, compound, and mixture. Can you write down which one of these diagrams is which? Pause the video and give yourself 2 minutes to have a go. Okay, so we're going to go through these now. So the first example of an element, this one here, will be actually the one just next to it, because it is only one type of atom. They're all the same. Doesn't matter if they're bonded or not, because it's only one type of atom, it means it's only one element. And also, the ones below, this is also an element because once again, it is only one type of element. These are atoms, these are molecules, but because they're the same color, that means it is one element. For compound, that means it must be bonded together. That means it is only this one and this one, because once again they are bonded together to 2 or more elements that are bonded together. So you've got 2 different elements, but they are bonded, joined together. That means the final example for mixture must be this one, because we've got 2 different elements, but they are not joined together. So there's space in between there, space in between there, space in between there. That means they are not joined together. It is a mixture of elements.